Batman Forever for the Super Nintendo was a disastrous disappointment. Back in 1995, Batman fans were filled with excitement and anticipation for the release of Batman Forever, the video game adaptation of the hit movie. Little did they know what awaited them would be a nightmare filled with frustration, confusion, and disappointment. From the moment players popped the cartridge into their trusty Super Nintendo consoles, they were greeted with clunky controls and choppy graphics that were a far cry from the smooth and impressive visuals of the film. The game attempted to emulate the dark and gritty atmosphere of Gotham City, but instead, it ended up feeling like a mishmash of conflicting ideas and poor execution. One of the biggest letdowns was the gameplay itself. The controls were more awkward than the penguin trying to dance ballet, making it incredibly difficult to execute basic moves and attacks. Battling henchmen felt more like a clumsy tango, as players struggled to pull off even the most straightforward combos. To make matters worse, the level design was a disaster. Each stage felt like a maze of confusion, where players had to blindly navigate through dark, poorly lit environments. It was like stumbling through the Batcave blindfolded, with no sense of direction and constant frustration. But perhaps the game's greatest sin was its lack of faithfulness to the source material. The character models, especially Batman himself, looked more like awkwardly shaped blobs than the iconic heroes and villains fans know and love. Even the game's rendition of Two-Face couldn't decide which direction to go, looking more like a terrifying melting wax figure than a fearsome adversary. In the end, Batman Forever for the Super Nintendo was a colossal disappointment. It failed to capture the essence of the beloved franchise, and left players feeling cheated and betrayed. Its clunky controls, confusing levels, and unimpressive graphics turned what could have been an enjoyable gaming experience into a frustrating ordeal that fans would rather forget.